I got introduced to Star Wars back in 1995, and that was for a limited release event for the original trilogy in theaters. And my mom took me to see all three of the originals, and it kind of just went from there. So that would have been about 10 years later. I was at a premiere in my hometown of Livermore, California for Mark Hamill's comic book, The Movie. And I got to go to the meet and greet with him, and great guy. And while I was there, I saw all these guys in really authentic looking stormtrooper uniforms. And I had to ask them how they got them, where they all came from. And they mentioned they were part of this club called the 501st Legion of Stormtroopers. And, started talking to them a little bit. And eventually, through interactions with them, I ended up doing my first troop more or less unofficially. There were a lot of waivers to go through for a 15-year-old because you're technically supposed to be 18 when you join. And I got to wear an Imperial Scout Trooper uniform for a Christmas parade with one of my friends in his Stormtrooper uniform and his extra Scout uniform. They actually came to give me kind of an award recognition letter for when I made Eagle Scout. And they actually came to my house and, got to meet some of the guys and everything and really hit it off with them. And they were a really amazing group of people. And once I found out what the group is all about, which is predominantly charity, and I realized that it lined up a lot with being a scout and serving my community and helping others, and that really appealed to me that I could do that through my passion of Star Wars and being able to just make people happy. And since I've joined, that's really been reaffirmed. Going to all the different events and seeing kids and adults just light up because it's a unification of our passions. Being part of your community and giving back, and it's just doing it in a way that it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's something that a lot of the public and the community really enjoy. And it's nice to be able to share that with them because we all unify and bond over it. And a lot of the events that are really special are like children's hospital visits and things like that. And, just getting to brighten a kid's day over something like that is, it's really special. I kind of have that understanding of what it's like to see that for the first time. And it's kind of hard to describe, but it really is this kind of a rush of like seeing, these characters that you grew up with that mean so much to you, and seeing, a person in reality in that outfit is it's totally different. Depending on what uniform you're going with. If you're going with something that's kind of an armored, hard surface set like that, you're looking at a lot of going through different forums, finding out, what's most accurate, finding out who the different trusted makers of the kits are. And then for me, at least, I always go through and verify, going through, screen by screen and cell by cell, figuring out what each detail is represented and making sure that proportions line up, details line up, making sure that everything is just spot on accurate before you really get into, purchasing and starting to put things together. Depending on what you're looking for, certain costumes are a little bit more difficult to put together than others. For example, a TIE fighter pilot like this, there's only a few armor makers that actually do both the chest piece and the helmet. A lot do just the chest pieces, and when you put both of them together, you end up with a helmet that's one finish and a chest piece that's another, and it looks kind of mismatched. So trying to get one that's lined up like that, that's made at the same time out of the same type of plastic, so that it has that very uniform look that really pops. That's what you're really looking for. For different uniforms, you can have a level 1. All of them have level 1, which is kind of your base entry level for approval, so that you can start trooping with the Legion. And then above that, some of them will have a level 2, which means that there are optional things that you can add to your uniform, different details to really bring out some more authenticity to it. And then for some, like Stormtrooper, there's even a level 3, which with level 3, usually it's more or less an indistinguishable from original prop status, which is usually where I try and strive for, is to try and get as authentic as possible. Yeah, that's actually our biggest focus, and our mission statement is bad guys doing good. That's our whole mission statement, because we do a lot of that charity aspect to it for first responders, for all sorts of different charities that are in addition to our own. We'll go to those events as well sometimes, and just really trying to brighten people's day and to bring people together over our mutual love of Star Wars. For those who are looking to do light side characters or rebellion, resistance, those characters are actually going to fall under the Rebel Legion, which is a sister club to the 501st. The 501st specializes specifically towards the clone troopers, the Imperial characters from the original trilogy, and the First Order characters, as well as Sith Lords and Mandalorians are also allowed in there as denizens of the Empire. But for Mandalorians, they actually have their own subgroup called the Mando Mercs. It brings back the feeling almost of when I first saw the original movies. That's probably the best way to describe it, actually, is it brings that kind of a memory back, that kind of excitement. And being able to share that with someone else, I mean, it's one of the greatest feelings. A lot of it is the nostalgia, especially for the original trilogy. That's a very strong, because you have so many different generations now that have seen that, and everyone, it kind of brings out that inner kid in the adults and that kind of a wonder and excitement in the kids, and just, it's a great experience.